Hello and welcome to another R-Keys video and to a new 2 million credit time trial challenge. And it's not that new anymore. It came out 4 days ago, but I haven't had a chance to do it until now. But I decided to do a video on it anyway. We are at Watkins Glen and we are in the newly added Škoda VGT and we are on racing medium tires. I did, as I usually do with these challenges, I did an hour to see how far I could get. I did a tiny bit more than that, and this video is the highlights from that session. And if you are enjoying the content, please feel free to hit the like and subscribe button. It is highly appreciated. Now let's jump into the first attempts. So this is Sunday evening. I am jumping into sport mode. I already picked up my prize for the previous time trial and we are jumping into this one for the first time. This is my first attempt and we didn't make it any further than turn 1 as I just run off the track because this car doesn't like to turn. Now we are having a look at some brake references. Just ignore the driving. This is my first complete lap. I'm using that escape hatch with the door handle. At least that's what it looks like just before the 400 board for turn 1. And now we are coming into the uphill section. I'm lifting on the entry, trying to stay towards the right hand side. I failed to turn in early enough towards the left and you can see I was struggling with the understeer. Now we're coming up towards the bus stop chicane. I am looking for the 500 board. That's my brake reference for this one. I did brake a bit early on this first run, but that is going to be my reference. I only just survived the bus stop chicane, nearly getting a track cut there. I'm looking at the I Love New York Marshall box there and to get on the power, and here you're looking at the end of that Coca-Cola sign. That's your brake reference coming down the hill. I'm running way too wide. You want to seek towards the inside of that corner straight away, and here I'm looking for both that end of the orange barrier and the 300 board, trying to stay towards the inside. You can see the car is starting to drift towards the outside. You really need to be so patient on the throttle. Now I am looking at the 300 board. That's my reference for this one. Getting the car slowed down, trying just to coast through this corner. It's downhill, so you need to really be patient on the throttle. The end of the fence is my brake marker for this one, as we are trying to bring the car towards the inside, but don't go too much on the curb. It will unsettle the car. Now it is the 300 board, maybe a bit after the 300 board for this corner, and the usual end of the tire barrier. You need to brake before that. There's also a post back there you can use as a reference. Just brake early. You can see I missed the corner and didn't get the inside camber to work in my advantage. We are getting across the line in a rather slow 1:38.866. I did a much better first sector on my second lap, but I completely mess up the chicane. And I'm still getting overwhelmed by the underwhelming ability to turn in this car. So I went off the track there. Also paid a visit to the barrier coming up the hill. Once again struggling the understeer. This time I think we are going to survive a lap. We made it through turn 1. Now I'm lifting at the entry, trying to stay towards the right hand side and turn in early enough. You can see I had to do a lot of lifting there, so that lost me a lot of time. If you can get a clean full throttle run after the first lift, that is to be preferred. We made our way through the chicane, a bit clumsy, and I'm not patient enough on the throttle. You can see I went on the throttle too early and immediately got a lot of understeer. And once again I am running wide, but I managed to just get the car slowed down and get a bit closer to the inside. Way too wide into this corner as well. Once again you need to search for the inside line, and as already mentioned, coming through this corner, just let the car coast, and then you can slowly get back onto the power. This almost feels like a very overpowered front wheel drive car. I don't really think you can spin this car, but you can certainly create a lot of understeer. We are making our way through the penultimate corner, and I am still having trouble braking early enough for the final corner. You can see once again I got a really poor exit, but we are down to a 1:37.240. And after a couple of messy laps, I managed to find that final apex, maybe even cutting a bit too much, but we are improving our time slightly, 1:37.062, but the optimum time shows that I'm doing a lot of mistakes. My optimum is a second faster, and I am running off the track. Speaking of mistakes, 9 minutes of driving, still only silver, so we are jumping back in again, coming into turn 1, trying to take not too much of the inside curb, and I was a bit hesitant on the throttle on the exit, so you can see the Ghost is running away. The good thing is that it's Sunday. I think the top times have settled down now, so the chance of getting robbed at the last minute are not so big as when you do this early on. We made our way through the chicane there, and once again you can see I was pushing it a bit too early, so I had to lift off on the exit, and that will always cost you some time. Still struggling a bit to get the car towards the inside, and coming into this corner I didn't run as wide this time, managed to sort of find the inside, and we are getting back on the power and braking early and coasting through the corner, get back onto the power, looking for the end of the fence. And can we keep the car towards the inside? Yes, just getting close to the curb, don't get on it, that will never end well. And now the penultimate corner, getting the car slowed down slightly, coasting through. There's a lot of lovely camber to use, and also the final corner. I find the apex there as well and get a decent exit. So I think we gained some time there, and we are down by more than a second. And no surprise, I am going to overshoot turn 1, running wide on the exit. So we are jumping out. We've done 12 minutes of driving. I've got a goal time with a reasonable margin to the gold cutoff, but we carry on. We are coming through turn 1, slightly missing the apex this time, but on the other hand, I managed to time my slight lift off the throttle just right so I can get back onto the power, stay onto the power, turning in early enough into the left-hander coming up the hill. And we are surviving the chicane, still a bit awkward through there, but we managed to be patient enough coming through this corner. Now get back onto the power. We are past the I Love New York sign, and also seeking towards the inside this time, and yeah, a bit impatient on the throttle, but we survived it, and we are seeking towards the inside as well. It's all about just waiting. Being able to manage quarter throttle, half throttle is really a good thing in this car, because you are certainly going to need it. Now we are coming up towards the hairpin, or almost a hairpin, and just once again be patient on the exit. 2 corners to go. A slight brake for this one, coasting through the corner using the camber, and now please brake early enough for the final corner. I managed to get the car sort of slowed down for that one, and we are back on the power, and we are going across the line in a 1:35.643, and now we went off the track there. We've got 25 minutes left of the first hour, and the improvements are getting smaller and less frequent now. We are making our way up the hill. Had to lift a tiny bit there, awkward jump over the curb there, but I managed to at least be patient after the chicane and keep the car towards the inside. Now that was the I Love New York sign, so we are back on the power. And unfortunately I did brake a bit too late for the final corner and had to wait on the throttle, so I didn't get the best run towards the finish line, but we're down to 1:35.564, and that was my best attempt within the first hour. But we went slightly into overtime now, and this is the final run of the video. Coming through turn 1 and nicely back onto the power, lifting at the entry, but trying to get back on the power, turn in early enough for the left-hander, staying on the power all the way up the hill. Now we are going to look for the 500 board, and I am braking, but I'm coasting and braking a bit again, coasting over the curb, braking after the curb, and now just be patient, I think we've got this powering out of there. Now looking for the Coca-Cola sign. I am going to be slightly wide into this corner, and unfortunately I had some mistakes at the end of the lap, so I already know that I can do better than this. You can see I'm running slightly wide, but I managed to bring the car in towards the curb, but still get an awkward exit now, looking for the 300 board, getting the car slowed down. But I think maybe, yeah, I didn't get the car turned in properly, so not the best exit there, and now I just brake way too late for this corner. You can see I'm really running wide, and also an awkward exit, so I clearly lost some time there. Now we've got 2 corners to go. This is sort of all right, and now for the final corner, I think we managed to find the apex and get back onto the power. But certainly lost some time there, but we're down to a 1:35.254, and this was roughly 10 minutes into overtime, so I didn't go all crazy on this time trial. This is my best run for now with all those mistakes. I think that a 34 should be possible for me. I am not having as much fun with this time trial as I've had with other time trials, but I think it's a doable time trial. It's fairly easy to drive the car once you get into your head that you need to brake really early and you need to be really patient on exits because of the understeer. Anyway, that's all for now. I hope you enjoyed the video, found it entertaining and maybe even somewhat useful. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you next time. Bye bye.